So yeah,
Okay.
I forgot
Yeah,
about
huh?
I forgot about Diz completely. So I could have just started you off like right at the beginning of this, but we'll go back a little bit. So
Yeah. You can just say
that
he's in
way
the
we can
burn
just
ward.
we'll just get rid of him.
Yeah, we'll just completely out of this story.
You guys are currently in the city of Waterdeep, and you're hanging out at this tavern called the Yawning Portal, which is a pretty famous launching point for a lot of adventurers due to the fact that its namesake is this giant well in the center of the tavern floor that leads to the Underdeep. And pretty much nobody ever comes back from there. There's only ever been 2 people to do it, one of which actually owns the bar you're in. And people still go down into this well, like you have to pay a fee in order to do it, but nobody ever comes out. Occasionally monsters will actually come out of the well and attack the bar, and it's just kind of par for the course. But a lot of adventuring teams start out here because this is well-known haunt of many famous or starting adventure groups. So that's where you find yourself. There are 2 stories to this bar, and of course this giant well that if you're on the ground floor, you can't quite see over the edge of it. Like, it's got a very high wall to it, so nobody falls in. But your group is setting up shop here, and I'll say you guys have been together for around a year, just trying to get rich, the usual stuff, and you've had some limited success, but not enough to really make a huge name for yourselves. So, what do you want to do in this bar? Where are you guys? Are you all together? Are you wandering around?
I'm wandering around and get rejected legendly.
Leela's at the bar shaking her head, just downing another drink, just watching the horrible, horrible show that's taking place on the first floor with this dipshit.
I think Kolfor and I are sitting at a table kind of in the back, and I'm kind of strumming on my my fiddle, and I'm going, do you really think it was a good decision to join up with those two? Watching Thomas flirt with all the women.
So
once you go home, you never go back.
You guys, it's pretty loud in here. There's a lot of different groups going around, a lot of business being conducted, and drunks everywhere. But you manage to be able to keep track of Thomas, who you can't quite see, but every 5 minutes you hear like an outraged shout and then a slap, and then a barmaid tends to scurry off in the other way, or another patron. And you hear that like every few minutes as he's wandering this bar. Thomas, you eventually make your rounds, and as you're going back up to the bar itself, a dwarf that you've befriended over the years, who is quite old. He's got one eye, which you immediately had a kinship because you're both missing parts. His name is Shaky. He stops you and he says, "Oh, looks like you're having trouble once again, lad." He kind of slaps you on the back, and you notice he's got some little tics when he talks, and his hands are constantly shaking.
He has nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say: a blind pig will find an acorn every once in a while in the woods. You got to keep trying.
Oh,
that's a good one, lad. And he slaps you on the back again. And even though he's old, like he's still strong as hell, and so he kind of gives you a good thud. Maybe some mucus ends up out of your nose cavity. It's hard to say. So what's your plan here? You having any luck with contracts lately? You've been here a couple of weeks, striking out left and right, it seems.
Yeah, well, that's just par for the course for me. You may want to talk to Leela. She's better at talking to people. They see the face, and either they fall in love or they hate me. There's no middle ground.
They fall.
I don't know.
You took the last person that fell in love with that mug, and I will buy you a beer.
You ended up killing her. I don't want to hear it.
Just because you fucked her didn't mean that she loved you.
She wanted more.
Oh, I ordered myself another beer.
You could give.
I'm like, I need
so,
more beer.
so Shaky says, well, you know, if you're looking for a new contract, there's a lad upstairs. You can't miss him. He's got this massive trunk and books everywhere. He's looking for someone to take a job, but nobody's really biting.
What type of job?
How much is he paying? I'm not worried about the job.
That's the spirit. He slaps you on the back again. You kind of like swallow some spit, start coughing. He says, yeah, you know, he says he's found some kind of ancient city, you know, typical shit, you know, what we all deal with. So you might want to go and check that out. He's upstairs. Can't miss him. Wee little guy.
Wee little guy?
Yeah.
Compared to us?
Well, no, not wee in stature, but just scrawny.
Oh, he's a scrawny little dude. Got it.
Yeah. And he kind of very shakily is like, you know, thin.
Got it.
As he's spilling his drink everywhere. Lucy, what you got?
Huh?
What are you guys?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So he turns back to the bar after you guys, you know, kind of part ways. So do you want to go find your group or?
Yeah, I scurry up to the table and tell them what's going on.
I slowly walk up behind with my new beer, just because I've been stuck with him for a year. I am turning into an alcoholic.
Y'all want to make some money? I heard it's pretty easy.
You didn't hear shit.
Shut up. No shade.
You didn't even ask what the job was. I asked him, and you rudely decided to interrupt me after you told him to tell me.
Oh, shut up, you lush. You don't even remember what you're talking about. Drink your drink.
Oh, if only I could strike you, Dad. Why didn't I join necromancy? Why?
I give Cole for the look like, remember what I was talking about earlier?
We're just looking at each other going,
Make your decision. I'll be at the bar if you want to go talk to the skinny dude upstairs. And I turn around and head back to the bar because my beer's already empty and I'm getting another one.
This whole time, Bruce is just following you. He's still bandaged up and a little scarred, but he's definitely had some time to heal. And he's just following you like a puppy without a word.
Because Diz has been stuck with him for a year too. He's learned to keep his mouth shut at this point.
Yeah. Like whenever you spill your drink on yourself or something, like he just mends it. Because you haven't even taught him shit at this point. Like you're just done.
Well, I figure I would have at least taught him prestidigitation.
So he can do some sparkly lights every now and then.
Yeah, clean up a mess, you know.
Yeah, well, he was already pretty good at that. That was his whole role.
He loved to warm chamber pots and such. So.
Yeah, maybe you can manage to get him a job at the tavern as like a dishwasher or something.
No, the whole point is still to get this kid to wild mount. It's just, God, it's taking forever.
Arun, I was thinking, I'm not always best with talking to people. They just can't take all this in at once.
As you see that,
Don't
a barmaid
say,
delivers.
Thomas.
Yeah, as you say that, a barmaid delivers Rune and Kolfar their drinks, and it just looks at you and slaps you. Like doesn't even give you a chance to say anything. And then she walks
As soon
away.
as that happens, all you hear across the bar is bullshit.
like, deformed person.
You bump and slide once, they'll never forgive you.
All right. So what do you guys want to do? You want to?
Yeah, moving on.
If we must.
All right. So you follow Thomas up the stairs, and when you get there, you're on this huge balcony that's circular because this whole bar is just a big circle. And you look over the edge, and you can see down into this well, the actual yawning portal, and it's just a big black hole. And there's a lot of different rigging and stuff over it because they actually have like a crane system to bring parties up and into this well. Or you can pay a gold and go down in there and then pay a gold to get back out because the owner of the bar does nothing without money. Like if you decide to go on a quest and you come back broke, you're stuck there. It doesn't matter if you're about to die. But
So did Layla
around?
Oh, sorry. Layla,
go ahead.
you went up with us, or are you at the bar?
Well, if y'all didn't come get me, I'm still at the bar.
Can we see her at the bar from this vantage point?
Oh yeah, of course. Like you can see her down there, just looking irritated and drowning drink after drink.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to Thomas. I'm gonna be like, I bet you can't spit in our drink from here.
Damn you! Oh, this is about to get rowdy in the fucking bar. Better roll that shit.
We doing a performance or just straight up?
Give me a ranged attack for that.
Encourage his ass. Damn you!
17 plus proficiency bonus of 3, 19.
You managed to. You rear back, and because you have no actual nostrils, you get some extra air in there and some mucus, and you manage to just, and you just see this glob arc across the room and splash just right into her cup. And beer goes everywhere on the bar. She's soaked, and Diz immediately just mends that, prestidigitation, it's clean. Meanwhile, that gets the attention of, where the hell is his name? That gets the attention of Dernan, the proprietor of the Yawning Portal. And he's a human, but he looks up and he shouts up at you and he says, "One more time of that and you're fucking out of here."
Thank God!
And as he says that, the entire bar is quiet and looking at you. Like, he commands a lot of respect.
So do I. So I'm going to be like...
So everybody goes back to work. Conversation, starts to pick back up again. Leela, he turns to you and he goes, "I expect you want another?"
Actually, just kind of ruined my taste for it for the night.
All right, I'm
But
still charging you for that one.
I already paid for it. You're good.
I should charge you double for cleaning the glass.
Ask him for the extra payment.
Fair enough. He's all about that money. So the rest of you upstairs, you see a bunch of tables just scattered throughout, and there's one up against the wall kind of away from the actual balcony. And at first you just see nothing but piles and piles of books, and occasionally you see like a head and a hand as he pulls off another book. But that's what you can see from where you're at. So
can we see what the books are? Like titles from here or no?
Not from where you're at, but they're thick, and there's lots of them, like just stacked from the floor, stacked in chairs, stacked on the table.
Okay,
So,
I walk over and I grab a book off the top and kind of lean against the table on my hip, and I'm like, "What you doing here?" And start looking at it.
a hand reaches over your shoulder and just plucks it out of your hand. And he says, "Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do. I don't have time for conversation."
Oh, well, maybe we can help you with your work. What are you doing here?
Are you an adventurer, or who are you? Why are you bothering me? And you see like some little bespectacled eyes peeking over the top of the books.
Oh, of course I'm an adventurer. Just look at us. And I motion for the others to come on over.
Okay.
As they're talking to him, Diz and I are going to make our way upstairs very slowly and not very happily.
All right. So he says, adventurers, perfect. Take a seat. Hold on. And he pushes back his chair, and you get a good look at him, and he's just this very skinny, kind of like a knockoff Harry Potter type, just goofy bowl cut, robes, glasses, very nerdy, very, very skinny. And he's got this big wooden and metal trunk behind him, and he kind of kicks it, and the lid pops off, and he just starts like sliding books in there, and these huge stacks are going to this trunk like you expected it to be full after maybe one stack, but it's just going and going and going. So the table's clear. You can all sit down now. He says, please, join me. I have use of people with skill and talent, and I could really use your help with this.
Well, you've met the right people. Prophecy.
What are your names? Introductions all around. Please go right ahead.
And I pull out my fiddle and I start playing a song that sounds like Thomas the Train.
Oh God!
I like pointed to Thomas. I go, Thomas, he's the noseless one. Layla, she tends to huff and puff. Colfer, she likes to help and share. And Rune, she's the best there is.
As you're singing, he like panics and looks around for a barmaid, and he's just like, drinks, please.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need a lot of it with this one.
Yeah. So.
And I sing like a little ditty about how cool we are and that we're good at our adventures.
He's finally like, okay, got it, got your names. That's all I needed. I'm Cornelius Ignatius Kahn, and I am a scholar here, and I've been looking for a temple, and I believe that I have finally found it. But I need you all to go there and explore it and see what you come back, and this will be an amazing discovery. What do you say? Are you in?
What's in it for us?
What's in it for you? This temple has never been found or explored, so the amount of riches inside will be immeasurable. Of course, I will split them with you. Anything pertaining to the civilization that once dwelt within, I will gladly take, but any gold, jewels, whatever you find, that's all yours. I don't need it. I only care for knowledge. And he holds up his hand dramatically, and you guys just stare at him until he awkwardly puts it down.
Knowledge is usually much more powerful than gold. Where is this city?
I agree.
Why do you want us to look for it?
Because someone needs to explore it, and I can't do it. I'm just a scholar. I couldn't possibly go there. Who knows what sorts of dangers might lurk within. But
who's it a temple of? Whose temple is it?
Oh, so the important questions first, I see. This is the lost city of Tamoachan, and it was once the northernmost capital of the Olman Empire, which, as you all well know, was an ancient civilization that dwelt here upon this very land for centuries before any of us ever lived. But apparently there is a shrine there that is dedicated to Zatzilaha, who is some kind of god of the underworld. And honestly, like, he wipes his nose. No, Zatzilaha. But people have been searching for this shrine for hundreds of years and never been able to find it. But I believe I know exactly where it is.
And where would that be?
Well, it's the northernmost empire of this ancient civilization. So I believe it is.
I look over
located in the Savage Lands, south of the Olman Islands and southeast of the Holds of the Sea Princes, in a nice tropical foresty area, which in my constitution I would never survive setting foot there. I prefer libraries, honestly. Dry, musty, the heat is terrible. Even this bar, there's just so much sweat everywhere. I mean, He just kind of dabs
You might need to find
his head.
Are you going to be providing the outlay for supplies and travel?
Absolutely, all expenses paid for you to get there
And back?
and back, of course. And anything you find in there, of course, of value is yours. All I want is just, maps of the place. I don't know, rubbings of any cool mosaics. Just general knowledge of anything you can find out. Any tomes that may explain more. Like especially like if there's any, just like manifests of storage or grain or shortage. Like I just need to know more. So
Rubbings.
yes.
don't
Do you need
it's above
some
your knowledge.
paper?
Diz can make rubbings of anything.
He hits his trunk again and it pops open. He just starts like pulling out paper, showing you these huge like charcoal rubbings that he's taken. You see here, and he's just droning on and on, like getting more and more excited as he's showing you all these like things.
While he's doing that, I'm just gonna pat Diz on the head. I'm gonna go, Diz, you know how to use charcoal and paper. Anything you see that might be of use, get a rubbing of it. Put it in your bag.
You're gonna take a child with you. Is that wise?
I rolled a 19.
Diz is a whole lot more than you, my friend.
Yep. You roll a 19 what?
Insight. I don't buy that this guy's not interested in riches.
Okay, well you can see he's genuine.
Yeah,
Like
no, I'm pretty sure that he's wanting a very specific tome. I'm just trying to think of how to ask him.
You also get the impression that he doesn't exactly know what's in there, but he's just like super into history.
Is there
All right,
anything
my friend.
we need to get into here, like a key or special handshake or anything?
They're old ruins. I imagine anyone with a hand is dead, and I'm sure it's crumbled quite a bit. You could probably find your way in there.
All right.
Nobody's been there before to craft a key. So.
Someone has been there, otherwise we wouldn't know about it.
You see, it's passed down from millions of legends and lore about this, and he starts pulling out more books and just adding to this pile. And he says, "You see here, if you read this."
Whoa! You're going off of verbal legend.
No, it's written right here in these books, and he's piling more and more and more. He turns to other patrons that are sitting around, and he says, "You there, elf?" And this high elf just kind of looks at him like, "Yes." Have you heard of the lost city of Tamoachan? He goes, "Yeah, of course. Nobody knows where the fuck it is." "Thank you." Fuck off. Delightful people here. See,
Right.
he knows. And look at his robes. He obviously has means.
So
I can still hear you. Shut up, old man.
Thank you.
So we'll meet you back here when it's done.
Yes, I will wait here. I will wait patiently. It shouldn't take you very long to get there and back, I suppose. I mean, look at you all. You're all very... And he finally notices Thomas's nose and goes, oh. My
Really
God.
should get the glasses checked, my
He's
friend.
kind of looking closer, and he's like almost... fascinating.
Trying to figure out how the hell this one is living.
I huff out real quick through the nose when he's close.
Oh God.
Oh! Yeah, like you can tell he usually never leaves his research. Like human interaction is not good, but he's genuine. Like this is all he wants is knowledge of this place and discovery and all that. He's just too flimsy a person to...
Is there anything specific you're looking for in this god's temple?
Well, once you've got a map of what it is inside and anything, they tended to carve busts and statues and things to their gods and really just decorate the shit out of these temples. Like anything of that sort, any information you can give that could further my studies is all I really need. And then you know, of course, once you plot this all out and find the dangers, then we can start sending, you know, teams in there to really break down and study it. But you'll be the first. You'll be making history.
You know, if you want us to bring some of this stuff back, we would probably need some kind of bag to hold it all.
Buddy, you should say that if you choose to agree to this. I have such a bag that is good at holding. And he knocks on his trunk and it opens again. He shuffles around in there and he pulls out an actual bag of holding.
Nice.
And he also pulls out. He pulls out like a little box, and it's got 4 greater healing potions in it. He says, of course, these will be provided. He pulls out another smaller book, and on there it says the Beginner's Guide to Olman language, and it's like a translation guide. He says, you might find use of this if you find anything worth reading. And he gives you a map that shows, you know, where this city is located. He says, so do we have a deal? And just then, like, the barmaid returns with 5 drinks for y'all, and Diz gets a cup of cider. He says, what do you say? Are you in?
One moment, small powwow.
Sidebar.
He
I
immediately
walk up to the
opens up the book and just starts.
The whole time, and I grab my beer and then just walk back to my little corner.
Well, I'm bored. Apparently, I'm not liked around here for some strange reason.
Oh, the heavens forbid!
Another barmaid walks by and just slaps you.
Thank you.
We heard what you said to Rosie, you pig.
Oh, I love.
He liked it too.
I
She
love
turns
the
around
women
and
he
slaps
so-
you again.
I like
you
it.
again.
The only thing I'm worried about is what if we get there and there's nothing in this place? Do we get some kind of fee for at least attempting this? I think we should try to bargain something.
Well, we can always make up a contract. But once we sign it, it's binding. If we take him on his word, there is no binding, and we can walk away at any time.
I'm bored. Let's go do something.
Alrighty.
So do you want me to make up a contract?
It's up to you guys. I'm just saying, if we get there and there's nothing there, I guess we'll have the book. Maybe we can fake some stuff.
Very true.
I like that plan.
All right. We'll take him at his word then.
Worst comes to worst, we just don't come back here.
All right. I go walk up to Cornelius. And I'm like, all right, Cornelius, the bag, the book, and the 4 greater potions.
Perfect.
An adventuring bit company.
Good. There's also a cart, or well, more of a wagon with a team of horses that will take you straight there. You know, you just need to follow the map. And shall we drink to our enterprise, this expedition? And he motions to the round of drinks he bought you. So he gets another one poured for you, and you all pick up your glasses. And as he goes to toast and pick up his, he actually picks up his inkwell and clinks glasses to us, and he takes a big.
Oh, lovely.
God, that happens more than I'd like to admit. Anyway, here's some gold, and he gives you each 100 gold. I'm sure you might need it for supplies and anything that's not provided, but you should be able to get there in a matter of days. And hurry back when you're done. I'm excited. I'll be right here. I won't move an inch.
I'm pretty sure of that, my friend.
How do you?
I take the bag of holding. I put the book in it.
I swipe one greater.
I want the
healing
book.
potion.
I pass out the others because God forbid. And then proceed to walk out with the $100 in my pocket. And down the stairs I go.
I'm going to take the book, Katie, okay?
Lucy?
Fine by me.
How do you spell Tamarawaku?
Spell what?
The
The
place.
god or whatever. Where we're
Oh.
going.
The god or the city?
I guess both.
Okay,
Yeah.
the city is
Tamoachan?
Tamoachan. That is Tamoachan.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my spelling of it. It's a lot easier to read it out the way you say it.
Lucy will have the correct way.
And of
Totally.
course,
Can you do it again?
Zotzilaha is Zotzilaha.
Well, except for the T.
So Sarah, you're take what's after the T? Another Zilaha. Anyway, I'll just type it.
Yeah, you're safe.
Um,
All right.
Is there are there any temples around here?
yeah, you're in a city. So there's
The hell
pretty
do you-
much anything you can.
I'm gonna go buy something just in case, undead. I put on my hammer. Water that they don't like.
How about it?
Little,
I make my way
little holy
towards
water,
wherever-
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you find a big temple, and you go on in, and there's just a basin of holy water.
You're literally just going to dunk your hammer into it.
No, it's. I may be a worthless bastard, but I know some people not to piss off.
Just wondering.
Yep.
Just wondering.
What happens when it dries? Like, shouldn't you get a blessing?
Well, if you
I was
get the
actually gonna-
vial, you could probably do that, but
I've seen if I can get a vial from them.
Because it doesn't last very long. Once it's
Yeah,
dried.
so, a little cleric comes up to you and he says, "Good evening, sir. Have you come to tell me your sins?"
We're in search of some old god at a ruin. Wait,
I don't have 6 months.
Oh,
I can't stay awake that talk that long.
Oh, old man, you have made my evening. That was that is too funny.
And
How
he,
much would it cost for me to get a couple vials of holy water?
of course, it would cost you nothing, but any sort of donation would be greatly appreciated. Doesn't matter what it is. But what I really want to know is what you've done.
Give him 10 gold and you walk away.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, please don't pee in the holy water.
It's for a rash, and I hand him 10 gold.
Okay, he says, very well, very well. You'll be back. And he gives you a nice little vial of holy water. He says, that won't wash away the sin, boy.
Good God, what temple did you bring us to? I didn't even look. As we walk out, I look back at the temple to see what fucking temple he just walked us into.
Southern Baptist what?
Yeah, look back in the doors, you see him with some rattlesnakes, and he's just spinning them around.
Oh, dude, that's funny. Oh, God.
So, of course, outside the stables, you can see that there is a little covered wagon getting hitched up to a team by, a bunch of stable boys that work for the tavern there.
I'm going to go through this quote-unquote supplies that are supposed to be put in the cart to go with us and see what supplies he actually gave us.
Yeah, you've got, food, blankets, travel rations, anything that you would need for a journey,
All right.
I'm going to play with the horses and pat their little noses and make sure they're tacked up correctly.
Yeah, they're pretty excited about that. So,
Table hand, need one thing before you take off.
Oh, God.
yes, sir. What can I do for you?
A step stool.
Oh, God.
I can't get up there.
Right, of course. They didn't tell me. Here, hold on. And he runs back in the barn. He comes out and he's got this little ladder that you can just kind of sling up on the side. It's got like hooks on it that you can attach.
I
Be careful nowadays.
messaged Kolfar and I said, since when did he stop using Diz? This is progress.
So that's why I didn't say anything. I'm like, you did not use it as a stepladder.
Now, me and Diz have something happened. Diz never said anything. So he's got a little bit of, he gained some ground.
Oh, over the last year? Okay.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
gotten to the point where he just won't put up with it. Like, he'll just look at you, look at his burned body.
I look at you and just be like, tempt me to say something to Leela.
And then he just blasts some.
I didn't listen, so you're right. It wasn't a girl.
This is
All right,
this has
whenever you guys
become
are-
a very smart kid over time.
I crawl in and I start reading the book, and I'm going to try to like learn as much of this language as I can on the way going.
Okay, well, we're going to say it's going to take a couple of days to do it. So if you choose to read the book in that time, you will gain the language of Olman
Yay!
as one of your languages.
How do you
That's the best.
is that? How do you spell that? Is it just Omen or?
Well, I mean,
Like old man without a D.
Yeah, gotcha.
so
All right.
So
I'll
yeah,
try. Who's
if
the
everybody
best
wants to read it, like you can all read the book, or if you just want Sarah to do it.
No, we'll just let Sarah do it.
I will. Oh,
You'll read it as well? Okay. So two of you have Olman. Perfect.
I was about to say, who's the best? Who's the best at navigation? I'll drive because I have really good animal handling, but
And you're also drunk.
yeah.
Oh, I got this. I'll drive. Diz hops up next to you and takes the reins, and he's got the map. And he's kind of like, nah, I got it. You sleep it off.
Like normal mom.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I am that mom. I
Yep.
just pat him on the head. I'm like, that's why I love you, kid. I just
So-
lay my head back.
So you guys, it takes a few days for you to get there. You've gone over a lot of country, and it's pretty much, not a whole lot has happened. But you eventually enter this very dense rainforest, and the weather is just hot and humid. It rains like every afternoon, so you're grateful for having a cover over the wagon. And following this map, you finally end up in this valley. And you're overlooking what looks like kind of canyons, but it's all grown over and whatever. And you can see kind of a big hill in the distance, but it's pretty much a straight shot from where you're at. And if anybody wants to roll perception, go for it.
I don't see shit.
21.
Perfect. You realize that you're not looking at natural structures. You're looking at a city that has been by the jungle at this point. You see a lot.
Does it count as a forest?
What's that?
Does the jungle count as a forest?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good, because that's my favorite terrain.
Oh, good. So this valley that you think you're in, you're actually looking at an old roadway between these buildings that goes up to what you now recognize as kind of a tiered temple at the far end. So
like South American temples.
yep, that's kind of the theme here. So very good.
Great. Aztec pyramids, fun.
Yep, and reading your map, you kind of get the gist that is the temple that you need to go to. All the other buildings are kind of just rubble and empty, and there's not much there, but this temple is still very much intact.
To the temple, child.
Well, you guys ride down this pathway, and it gets to a point where things are just so choked with branches and rubble, and you decide to start walking towards the temple. Is Diz going with you, or is he going to tend the horses?
No, he's in front.
No, he is not. This is going to be by my side where he always is. Az,
All right.
put your noseless wonder up there up front. Smell us a trail.
After those beans I had last night, you're brave.
Oh. Maybe one day I'll get lucky and Diz will kill you in your sleep.
You see him quickly have the dagger behind his back. Like,
I would like to enact primeval awareness.
What does that do?
Oh, nice.
So let's see, because I'm in my favored terrain, it's within up to 6 miles, and we can sense whether the following types of creatures are present: aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Whoa.
Okay. For what's the radius on that?
Within 6
Sure.
miles.
Okay. You definitely get some pings. Like you realize that there might be some undead. There's some kind of, possibly fae. Like there's a lot going on here, but undead, like you have a feeling that there's
And you don't
some up ahead
me-
within this temple.
You don't have to tell me location or number, but that is nice to know.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. And as you are walking along and you approach this stepped pyramid temple, you tread across cracked and overgrown flagstones and stepping over shattered pillars. You're pushing aside lots of vegetation and shit. And when you're nearly at the temple, you hear the sound of creatures crashing through the underbrush behind you, and you turn around to see people moving through the woods toward the clearing around the pyramid. But before you really get a good glimpse of them, the earth just shakes and falls open beneath your feet, and you go collapsing down into the darkness, and you land in a room, and dust is kind of falling above you. You guys don't take any damage. You kind of like fell through and then down like a slight decline. But
We have a little of a
You were-
bruise, and that's about it.
yep, a little bruised and dirty, but you are in a room underground, and you can look up and kind of see this hole you've fallen through.
Since it looks like we're going to be fucked for now, who doesn't see good in the dark?
Probably only you.
I have dark
Nope.
vision.
I've got dark vision.
So do I. I'm a dwarf.
I don't. I guess
Okay.
You me.
I am going to cast light on.
I mean, you guys also should have explorers packs or
Yeah.
whatever with torches if you want to use those.
Well,
I give Diz the torch out of mine
You know.
and
Okay.
light it.
I'm going to cast light on Diz.
Look at this glowing boy.
No!
So Diz is just bright, and he had just sparked up this torch, and he hands it back to Leela. And as he does, you notice that the fire on this torch is kind of sputtering and glowing kind of red instead of just the usual like orangey brilliant fire. It's like this dark red. And it's just kind of like it flares every now and then and sputters, and
Does anyone have a canary?
What did Diz do to the
can
fire?
I smell anything?
and he's taken aback, going, I swear I didn't do this. All I know is how to mend. I can mend the fire. I'll fix it. I'm sorry.
Fine,
Oh.
leave it. Leave
Okay,
it.
I'm
I have
glowing.
a pretty good idea of
Okay.
what happened.
Can anybody who wants to make a nature check?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that, but I have that.
Oh,
9. Mine was
17.
18.
dark and we're in a cave.
Okay, so the everybody over a 15 knows that this room is filled with a poisonous gas, and you start to notice this kind of yellowish haze that kind of distorts your vision, and it breathing isn't bad, but you can tell like over time this is going to be shitty. Your light sources don't seem to glow as bright as they normally do, but you can definitely tell there's some gas. And as you look up at the hole, you actually see some haze floating out into the sky.
Diz,
Would
run
we-
around, find us an exit.
Would we need to do a medicine check to see if it's affecting us?
No, you can certainly.
Well, I mean, because on the one hand, that could be there, but it could just be like CO2 in the air. Are we going to see any negative effects? I only have a +1 to medicine, but
Yeah, if you want to roll it, go for it.
16.
You don't know like what type of gas this is, but it smells terrible, and you think that the extended exposure to this will probably be harmful to you in the long run.
I've heard bad things about gas that make people see things, and that can do really bad things to people. So I think we need to try to get out of here. Diz, go look around the wall. You're the light source.
Diz, don't move. Diz, don't move.
Well, illuminating from his glowing robes or whatever he's wearing, you can see ahead of you this kind of round little dome in the center of the room, and this is a rectangular room. So looking towards the east, like towards the west is where you fell in. It's just a bunch of rubble. Towards the east is this dome in the center, and you can see a door at the far end, as well as some recessed niches, 3 on each side of this room.
I'm gonna grab Diz and go inspect one of the recesses. I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna look at it.
Say check for traps. Check for traps. Check for traps.
Yeah, I'm not getting to touch it. I just want to get a light over there where I can kind of look at it.
No, I mean,
Okay.
Diz, you picked up Diz and you're like shining him up against it.
Yeah, you're holding him like a torch. Okay, so you walk to the first niche on your, what do you say, left or right, Sarah?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that sounded bad. I heard alarm bells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Sarah. Don't do it.
So you inspect this niche in the wall, and you see a bunch of little figurines kind of on a little display in this alcove. And this one appears to be a scene of tribal warfare involving like 20 little warrior figurines in combat, and 10 of them on one side are painted black, and the other 10 are done in kind of a red. And that's all you can kind of see from this, just all these little warrior figurines kind of going at it.
Someone's playing with dolls?
All right. I guess, how many alcoves are there?
There's 6 in total, and then there's also that domed shape in the center of the floor.
Okay.
Is
I
the
don't
hole
know.
above us still open? Hole above our heads?
Yeah, it's open to the sky, but like getting up there is probably going to be a problem.
How high up is it?
Very. Like if
Come
you want
on.
to cast fly and get up there, you can do that, but we'll say it's a good 50 feet above your head.
50? Damn it.
Yep.
So I guess I go to the next one and drag Diz.
Okay, the next one on the right.
Yep.
All right.
Am I moving from the out to towards the door, or am I moving towards?
Yeah, you're moving upwards towards the door, so you're about dead center in this room, but along the right-hand wall.
Okay.
In this one, you see a depiction of what appears to be the creation of the world. There's all these little statuettes that are stylized and non-human. There's like a god adorned in green feathers, and he's mixing ashes with blood to form sculptures of a man and a woman. And there's 4 larger figures painted red, black, blue, and white, and they're standing around a fire, killing themselves with their daggers. And there's 2 smaller figures that are ringed by those 4. And one looks like he has some kind of skin condition, and he's being burned alive, while another one just appears to be cowering in fear away from this scene.
Joy. And I kind of am telling everybody what I'm looking at. So.
Okay.
So we have a battle scene, and now we have a sacrificial scene.
Yeah, like a creation scene and then a sacrificial scene.
It looks like there's a jade chicken, green feathers. That's kind of
Everybody's so happy. Goodness.
all right. So what's the next one on the right?
Next one on the right. It shows kind of a scene of different, like, commoners, like weaving rugs and blankets and baskets and carving totems, making pottery and weapons and things like that. Just seems like the lower class of the society just working away.
Okay. And so I'm at the door now?
Yeah, you are at the door.
Anything? I'm not going to touch anything. I just want to look at it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check at the door.
Okay. 8.
It's a bronze door with some shit carved on it.
Great. I'm going to walk over to another one of the alcoves.
Okay, I'm going to assume you're starting from the back where you fell in and going to the left, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk up to the first one, and there's kind of you see a river, and there's like a dozen of what you assume are kind of commoner people gathering fish with nets and carving like a dugout next to this river.
I'll go to the next one.
Okay, there's more commoners here, and it looks like they're just planting corn and harvesting wheat. And there's 5 warriors kind of standing guard. And there's one guy that looks kind of priestly from the way he's got his hands outstretched. And you think he might be blessing their field.
We got farmers and fishermen and creation and battle.
We need one more. The last one on the left.
Okay. So Leela moves up to the last niche, and you see a temple upon a tiered pyramid, and there's 7 more of those little peasant dudes bringing a small offering of gold and jade. And in front of the temple stands another guy holding like a snake kind of around him. And then there are also 3 more of those warrior figures, and one is dressed as a winged serpent holding a spear, another one as a bear with kind of razor sharp claws, and the third looks like a coyote and he's holding a torch. And then there's some little stone statues of the different gods, and like little bits of gold and jade are kind of represented to the stone.
I don't know any of the others.
These are humanoid figures dressed as animals, or like
Yes.
mix it. Okay, so they're not strictly worshiping animals.
Yeah, they're little carved figures of humanoids kind of dressed up as their gods, basically.
As these gods, yeah.
Can I do a religion check?
Yeah.
Does
sure,
Thomas have any religion to check?
Yeah, do you know anything about the Olman religion?
No, I do not. I don't know anything on the roll either, so don't feel bad.
Okay, you're like, these people look old.
I'm studying this door, and I'm just not getting anything, and I turned to Colfer, and I'm like, hey, you studied the language with me. Come and see if you can make anything out of this. I'm having a hard time seeing with Diz here as a light source.
Was that a perception?
Yeah, or an investigation if you want to get up on it.
Nat 20.
Perfect.
Nice.
Tonight.
So this door is carved with a sun symbol and appears to open into the room. Like the doors are going to swing towards you if you open it. There's hinges on the side facing you and scratches on the floor. There's no visible lock or any handle on it, but there is a slight gap stretching across the top of the door. You also find 8 holes that seem to have been like bored into the door. And they're about 1 inch in diameter, but nothing, like you kind of look inside, you don't see anything inside them. It seems to be fairly thick. The top of the door, the lintel is arched, and there's a little keystone at the top. And because you rolled an at 20, you see that this little keystone can be removed, and you pop it out and find a keyhole.
Ha, keys. Like a keyhole that we're clearly familiar with the.
Yeah, it looks like it
skull
doesn't
shape.
look. Yeah, it doesn't look like the holes that were drilled into this door. It looks like a legitimate, like you can look inside and see a little mechanism.
Do the holes look the size of the little statues we've been seeing?
No, these are only about 1 inch in diameter. The statues are about, you can hold them in your hand.
Child, are you a rogue?
No, he's a wizard.
I'm a great wizard. I can clean. I can clean. I burn really well.
I feel bad enough as it is.
Okay, so he wants to, like, Diz is going to walk up closer to this door, and with your nat 20, you notice with the shadows from his glowing form, that central dome that you all ignored completely is kind of open on the side facing the door, and it actually is kind of a little diorama on there. So it's like a dome thing from the side you're originally on, but in front of it there's another little niche.
Is it also 50 feet up?
The dome?
Yeah.
No, this is just like a little dome in the floor.
Oh, in the floor.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking up here, like in the Capitol building style. Okay.
No, it's just like a little dome thing in the center of the room.
Oh, okay.
Way more.
Yeah. So kind of from the other side, it looked like a real smooth, round stone, but now you can tell that it's about a 4-foot little dome structure with a little cutout facing that door. And with your natural 20, I'll give it to you. You see 12 more warriors. There's a mean-looking hound, kind of a guy scouting out, and then there's like a panther in the trees, and you also notice that one of these warriors is holding some kind of staff.
Does it? They're hunting the panther because I have a panther and I suddenly don't like that.
Yeah, it looks like they are clearly hunting this. Like, oh, there's actually more over here. Yeah, some of the pulled down. Like, there's also a stag that they pulled down with the help of a dog. There's like a small mule deer that they've managed to like clean and hang kind of towards the back of this depiction. They have a panther cornered with their spears, and the scout is holding a metal staff, which is unlike all the stone and wooden figures you've seen before. This is actually metal with a loop in its end that kind of looks like a shepherd's crook.
Do you think that's a key?
It just, yeah, and it's weird because the Christianity background is like, why are the ones killing animals separate from, I mean, other than fish, but in the middle, on the floor?
All right, I'm gonna go grab the key.
Okay, you pluck this little metal thing out of its hands, and looks like it'll fit into that keyhole.
By hook or by crook, we're getting in the room.
Yeah.
I really doubt I can reach it, so I hand the key to the elf so she can like reach those gangly ass arms up there and actually unlock the damn door.
I mean, you can't just like throw the key in there all cool and.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not that liquored up yet. I'm still sober.
Yeah, you slide this key into lock, you turn it, and these bronze doors pop open towards you, and you're able to pull them open. And along the other side, you see extending about 10 feet in front of you is a hallway with more of the stone that then turns to the left and goes.
Are there any torches, like unlit torches on the wall or anything like that? Since I still have the torch in my hand that I could light?
Not along the walls. In fact, the walls themselves, like everything looks really old and kind of decaying here. They're kind of these stucco covered stone walls, like, and just unmortared stone. They're kind of sealed, and the ceilings are kind of made of the same material. The ceilings here are about 20 feet high, and you notice there's a lot of kind of just general decay. Like some of these blocks are kind of crumbly, but there's nothing.
Guys,
All are gone.
No, not along this hallway. But
before we go into the hallway, do you guys think we should grab some statues for Cornelius?
We could do that on the way. Well, I guess maybe we won't come out this way.
You're sure that it's not going to activate something in that room?
That's my concern.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that
And
was
before
why
we
I
should-
asked before I just grabbed.
I think we need to check for traps in the hallway too.
Okay.
so you're gonna move into this hallway.
Let's
I wanna-
check the traps.
Yeah,
You're the
investigate.
ranger. Check the traps.
Okay, roll. Just roll a general perception first, since you're just kind of looking through the doorway.
I got a nat 20 plus 5, so 25.
Okay, we'll go with that. Rune kind of peeks her head through these bronze doors and looks, and what you see is the walls of this corridor are actually carved, and they look like stacks of bamboo logs. So along the wall, if you picture bamboo kind of running sideways along it. And the passage kind of slopes downwards towards a door, or from the door that you guys are in. And as you go through, you're not seeing anything in the floor. And towards the end, you see another set of double doors with beaten bronze. But before you get to those doors, you do spot a plate in the floor itself ahead of you that looks like if you step on it with enough weight, it might trigger something.
Nobody go on the plate.
Okay, so there's a pressure plate directly in front of you. You're about halfway down this hallway.
Can you walk around the pressure plate, or is it?
No, it takes
Taking
up
up the whole floor.
The full width, to where like you guys can walk like maybe 2 side by side down this hallway. So
We could
It's a pretty narrow.
you know, yeah, it's pretty narrow, but this thing kind of runs the whole.
How big is it? Like how wide?
We're gonna say it is about a 5-foot tile, to where if you really wanted to jump over it, you'd probably manage that.
Is there any indication of what kind of trap it sets off?
Do you want to kind of get down and inspect it a little further? Like she just rolled to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, roll me an investigation.
16.
Okay, you get down there and you're kind of like just very carefully with like a dagger or something, kind of prying it up and looking underneath, and you see all these mechanisms. You get the general idea that if you were to have a few people at once stand on this, it would probably trigger it. And judging from what you can see underneath, running towards the walls on either side, something's going to come out of the wall.
Is it... Because here's my thought. I was thinking that if we put all of our packs on it, it would be enough weight to trigger it, and then it would be sprung so we could get through. But if it's going to be like a big rock that comes out and crushes our stuff, I don't want to do that.
You get the idea that that something's just going to pop out from the wall. So, but you can tell that like it would take a couple people standing on here to set it off. So if you want to throw your packs down on there or something, you could probably get it, or have Diz jump on it.
Well, I don't know if we want to trigger it unnecessarily, though.
Well,
That's
if
it.
it just darts out of the wall when it's triggered, it's done.
That's the hope. I mean, if it's a blade that like slings across the top, then putting our packs down, we spring it, we know what's going on.
Right, but if it's continual blades, then we kind of screwed ourselves.
Yeah.
So Diz standing towards the back, kind of says, can I? Yeah, I want to. There's rocks back there. Could we throw rocks on it?
That works for me.
And he just beams with pride. So if you guys want to go and collect some of the rocks that fell in from the other room.
Come on, Diz, let's go get some rocks.
Okay. You and Diz go back, and he picks up a pretty meaty rock, and he's just very slowly trudging down the hallway with it.
I just pick up 2 big rocks and just tink, 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 tink.
Okay.
I do the same.
You guys
Rune kind of backs out of the way because she's a little bit shaky with this plan.
Yeah, the rest of you are about 10 feet back from the pressure plate, and Diz is going to walk a little bit closer. He's not very strong, a few feet away from it. And he's going to
Chuck it at it.
push out and toss his boulder on there, and the boulder lands on the pressure plate, and it does not trigger it. But he scrambles back, just like out of breath. Oh God, that was so scary.
Clean.
After he scrambles back, I walk up and I chuck one of the 2 that I have.
Okay, you chuck that one, and as soon as you do, the carved bamboo poles on the side of the walls around this trap spring out and just knock both of these boulders towards the doorway about 5 feet in.
Whoa.
And they out. So there's now these kind of bamboo sticks in front of you like this.
God. Okay.
Well,
I guess
that
sorry,
was a
guys.
great idea.
Yep.
And they're
so-
stone?
Yeah, they're made of stone.
Oh, joy.
'Cause they're
Katie,
kind
you're a,
Oh.
you a dwarf.
Let's see if I can bust through these
okay, you wanna hit it?
with my hammer.
How about it?
We're backing up, taking cover.
Okay. Before he does it, I'm gonna give him some bardic inspiration. So,
I'm just going to grab Diz by the shoulder and we're both going to walk all the way to the back of the group
yeah.
and we're going to watch the spectacle happen.
So that gives you a 1d8 to kind of try to help you out there.
You haven't inspired him with song yet, Sarah.
Yes, I was just about to, Brian. And so I'm like backing away and I'm going, he's a brick house. He's matchy.
All right, make an attack roll on these things.
Are you not going to use your D8?
25.
Was that without
Yeah,
your
that's
D8?
gonna hit. That's gonna hit
Keep
pretty
your-
damn well. So roll me some damage.
Yeah, it's D8 plus 7. 6 plus 7. 13.
Okay, you managed to. What are you using? A hammer or an axe?
Hammer.
Okay, yeah, you wield your hammer and you run up and you just plow into these things and you hit it really hard and you manage to break a couple of them off to where you could probably squeeze through it pretty easily now. Like you can duck under some of them and get by.
I'll do it one more time, clear some more.
Okay, yeah, roll another attack.
The smash.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah, you hit again. I won't even make you roll damage. You managed to smash through like a good portion to where only ones you couldn't reach are the ones still standing. So, and you you can walk across and nothing will happen. You can go up to those other double doors ahead of you, which are just big bronze double doors.
I walk up to the doors and take a look at them.
Okay, roll me a perception.
Perceptions. 10.
All right, there's something carved on there that you're not quite sure, but it looks like maybe some sort of plant life on there. You want to open them?
Rune, there's something funny on this door.
Oh, okay. And that was perception.
Yeah, yeah.
If she doesn't get it, I'll follow up.
24.
Okay, yeah, you immediately can tell that this looks like a forest of seaweed that has been carved in this door, very intricately, to where you get the feeling that you're standing on the bed of a big lake or ocean, looking through this forest of seaweed.
Anybody got any potions of water breathing?
No.
No one said anything about swimming. I need 2 sets of earplugs.
You guys gonna go in?
Is there?
Oh, I can't possibly.
Yeah, there's no keyhole or anything in this one. It's just open.
Like a pair of doors, you can push on them and pop it open if you want.
Okay, I do it.
Okay. You enter into a larger room than the first one you came into, and it is kind of a square-shaped room, 20-foot ceilings with kind of buttressed corners, so it almost looks like a square with the corner shaved off, basically. There's a lot of mud on the floor. Like, it's very wet and muddy. And in the very center of the room it looks like a polished boulder with some kind of bamboo leaning up against the side of it, maybe. But yeah, you're in this muddy room with some doorways that you can see on the other 3 walls opposite the ones that you.
I don't like that boulder being held up with bamboo. That's scary.
It's not being held up. There's a piece of bamboo kind of next to it.
Survival check to look for tracks or anything?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll some survival.
$18.
Okay, as you're kind of scanning this muddy floor, which is very slippery and sticky and nasty, you do see some weird tracks that they don't look like humanoid or mammal, but they're pretty big. And as you kind of look around and look up, you see something moving around this boulder that's very big, and it kind of looks like a lobster.
A lobster?
But it is not a small one. Like we're talking, it's about as big as you.
Oh boy!
And it's just kind of come out from around this boulder.
I take
Is it a beast?
Yeah, it looks like a lobster.
I am really, really trying to think of some snooty comment about Red Lobster that would work for my character, but I just can't quite get there.
Yeah, same.
It's about damn time. I was getting bored. I step in front of everyone, pull my shield up, and grab my hammer out.
Okay, you do that, and this big lobster-looking thing comes running up towards you, and he's keeping his distance. But he throws his arms up in the air all defensively, and he starts speaking. And the two of you that know Olman can understand him.
Oh, cool.
And he says, "Who dares enter the chamber of the Guardian?"
But the rest of us, all we're hearing is like clicks and weird things like that.
Not exactly clicks and weird things. Like, it's a spoken language. You just don't understand.
Oh, shit.
I
voice.
I bow with a flourish and I said, "We do, oh great guardian."
You should leave immediately, or I will discharge my sacred duty. Be off with you before I lose my temper.
I start giggling when he says duty.
He kind of clacks his claws together threateningly.
But kind sir, we were just wandering in the woods, and this crater opened.
No woods here. There's just mud.
Yes, but we fell in, and we're just trying to get out. Do you know how to get out?
There is no out. There's only here.
Well, that's a very limited worldview, Guardian.
I think you would like a very warm bath. Have you ever tried that? The hotter the better.
Sounds terrible. Leave immediately.
Well,
no, literally, lobsters scream for it.
We'll leave if you just let us by.
I cannot. You shall not pass. As you guys are making this ruckus, and he's very loud. That boulder you saw in the center of the room moves.
Oh.
What is that?
And it stands a little bit.
Oh.
And you realize that what you thought was a piece of bamboo leaning against it is kind of a leg.
Oh,
and
God.
A very, very big hermit crab stands up in the center. And he looks at you all and just, who dare disturbs me? Guardian, what is the ruckus? And of course the giant lobster-looking thing goes, they have tread upon our sacred chamber, my master.
But he woke you up. We did not wake you up. That's the disturber.
He is very loud. What?
Oh, great one. We were simply walking through the woods, and this earthquake occurred.
No wood here.
No, not here, but further away. We fell through the ground and ended up in these chambers, and we are trying to find our way out.
The way out.
We're trying to get
out
to leave. Yes.
What are, I have no knowledge of anything but this room we are in with my mud. There's some doors.
Could we take a rubbing of you?
Explain this rubbing.
Or a signature, trace a footprint, maybe? I don't...
A selfie?
pretty confused.
Didn't happen.
The guardian runs up with his claws in the air and goes, "You will not lay hands upon him."
I am going to try and ask.
We also have a ridiculous child. 2 of them, actually. So I know what it's like to try and wrangle your subjects.
Yes.
Could you do it with this guy?
What's going on?
Calm down.
Shellfish, so are we going to get this taken care of? Because I don't want to break out.
Oh, great one. The chamber beyond this one that we came through is full of poisonous gas. And we just want to get to the door on the other side so we can proceed forward and try to get out of here. We want nothing from you or to disturb you in any way.
He takes a big deep breath. He's like, "This is the freshest air I have ever known. Why would you want to leave?"
Because your lobster friend told us to and threatened us.
You know, there's a hole in the ceiling back there. You want to re-enter the world? Like, you just hop on right back there?
I don't
Up the wall.
this. This is my world. And he kind of rattles a little claw.
You never wanted to, like, adventure?
This is
exotic
the
foods?
only world I was brought here when I was very small, and this is the only place I've ever been.
You've never wanted to meet any lady crabs?
A what?
Crabs.
It's just me and the guardian. There is
All the beautiful shells that are out there.
there's doors. The one you came through. Maybe You should go to the one to the east there. And he points towards your, what would be your right. There's a door. He goes, there's a staircase that way.
Do you know where it leads?
Is that correct?
No. Up?
He's only ever been here. Do you want to go through the staircase?
No.
I don't understand you.
But you should very clearly go to the west. There's a door there.
Do you know?
It's a door.
Are there two doors?
There's actually three. There's one behind him as well.
Where does the door behind you go?
Down some stairs.
It goes down.
Up
Down.
and down.
I know the difference. Are you mocking me, Guardian?
What about the other door to our left? Does it go up or
Down,
down?
isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one to the west. He says, "Well, it's a door. I've never gone there. I've peeked up to the one to the east.
What did you see?
A door, or no, stairs. Eventually. I don't like to
Guardian.
leave my mud."
So I relay all this to the people behind me. I'm like, basically, they want us out. They want us to go through the door over there that goes up. And he said the door across the way goes down, but he doesn't want us to go through that one.
Or
I'm fine with us.
it goes somewhere.
Oh, so we have a mystery door. Great.
Yeah,
Great.
the door directly behind him is. He's not mentioned that. He's mentioned the east and the west doors, but not the north door.
It feels like we're on a game show.
You have entered the
Which one
shrine
has
of the
to be on
silver monkey.
Do we see anything on these doors? Are they like carvings or anything like the others, or are they just blank?
No, they're just like doorways, like they're open.
Mm.
So the doorway there.
The one directly behind him, you can tell that the ceiling kind of slopes downwards, so you get the idea that maybe it moves down. But
We have stairs up, stairs down, and a mystery door.
Yep. And he wants us to use the one that goes up, not the mystery door.
I'm fine with going back to the surface. All we're here is to get a few rubbings, a couple tomes on the way out, and then get the hell out.
If you want to randomize it, somebody roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Got it.
Oh, why can't we just vote on going up?
Because
Dude.
I'm bad at decisions.
I'm good at
All
going
right.
up.
okay,
I'm good with going up.
Yeah.
now Guardian, you let them pass. They mean no harm.
Thank you, Great One.
Yes, you should worship me again in the future.
What's your name? I don't know what to
My
call you.
name is Kalka Kaila.
Calcutta. Okay.
Wrong name. Don't you insult my master. Clack, 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 clack.
All right, Zoidberg, calm down.
How long have you been
so-
here?
I'm a very big hermit crab, bigger than you. How many are you?
I'm 23.
I'm bigger than that.
Ah,
You have no idea how
yeah.
long
No
it takes a hermit crab to grow to that size.
Yeah, I can't fold his logic.
idea.
He,
All right.
he just knows he grows over time and is looking at creatures smaller than him and thinks, I'm older because I'm bigger.
So I guess we're going up.
We're all making our way to the door to go up.
All right, so you guys are heading towards the east door, and you're kind of like slogging through this mud that's on the floor. And you enter the eastern door, and you can see that the hallway extends a ways, and then it also turns back to the north, to the left. And you follow it around, and you end up at the foot of a flight of steps that is completely full of rubble. Like looks like to be a cave in from up above there.
Oh, joy.
Yep.
Why doesn't that figure?
Do you think a sacred hermit crab eats?
That's what I was wondering. To get that big, he has to have a food source, but hopefully not us.
I'm thinking we could make an offering of noms if we have to go back through there. Because I just looked it up, and hermit crabs apparently eat everything.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
play
I was
him a
about to say,
song.
We could soothe you to sleep
I
like
don't-
an animal. Like,
You want me to leave him an offering?
No.
So you guys are kind of turning back around and walking back towards that chamber at this point, realizing that it's a dead end up the stairs. Can you guys make a perception check for me?
Oh shit.
yipe.
23.
14.
17 plus 17.
19.
Yeah, you all pretty much pass this. You notice that one of the blocks in this wall of stucco is very corroded and kind of wet. Like you can actually see gaps around this stone on the east-facing wall of this hallway, about halfway down between where the staircase is over to where the turn in the hallway is.
I look
It's like-
suspiciously at Thomas.
Yeah, there's just like a block, and it's about 5 feet tall. That's kind of wet and corroded.
I can arc, but not that high.
Rune with her 23, you notice there's a seam around this block, and it looks like it could possibly be moved.
Who wants to try to move the block? 'Cause
Yuck. Wet and corroded is acid to me.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that. I hate gross things.
Okay, I'll
Maybe I
go
gotta
move
be
it.
we could check for traps, Thomas.
Yeah. 14.
As all the
What
rest
are
of
you
us
doing
take
with
a really, really wide berth back.
Say what?
What are you doing with the 14?
Strength check.
Push
Try to
it.
move it.
Okay. You can feel it kind of slide just a fraction. Like you're by yourself, you're not strong enough to do it. But as you put your hands on this thing, you do get a nice little burning sensation in your hands, and you take 1 acid damage.
He should be used to that.
Yeah.
And you have this caustic lime that's now coating your hands.
Diz, clean him up.
Yeah.
Diz
come here.
mends,
And
he mends, and your hands are a little red, but he's able to clean that right off of you. It's a good thing you brought him.
Yep.
Well, whatever it is, that shit hurts.
Well, if it's full of acid, we might not want to move it because acid might come pouring out on us.
And you guys have been down here for a little while now. So,
Constitution.
yeah, make a constitution check.
Joy.
Open up your damn mouth.
23.
22.
Con, is that what we said?
Yep.
Constitution.
17.
Okay.
And if it's lime, it's actually basic, so we could apply an acid and neutralize it.
19.
So nobody under a 15.
Correct.
Unless Diz lost it.
No, yeah, it is. Fuck it.
Yeah, thank you. I completely
That's
forgot.
That's a good old 9. So Diz starts coughing.
Oh no.
And he takes 3 poison damage.
Damn.
He goes, ugh, ugh. I'm okay. So what do you guys want to do with this block?
Do we want to move the block?
Do you?
What
You
is
tell
the
me.
carvings around it? You said it was this.
Oh no, it's like a seam, so you can see
Yeah.
the edges of this block. Like you can tell that the wall above it and around it is not really supported by this block itself.
And what's the scene of?
Seam, like,
Oh, seam. I'm sorry. I got you now.
yeah,
The great
Yeah.
8 there.
yep. So
And I pushed on it, and it moved a little bit, but it's not like stuck in place.
right. It's just heavy. So you get the impression that there's something behind there.
But we think it's probably mechanical and not magical.
Or it's just a block that you can play Jenga with.
Like
So,
Hey, Diz, can you
Sorry.
clean off the surface of this rock?
I can try, and he casts
actually do
he casts his little cleaning spell, and the lime disappears for a minute, but it slowly starts to trickle back out. Like there's just a lot of it.
that makes me think the back behind it is just full of lies.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he only
I'm
cleaned
really
off-
starting to think
He only
that's
cleaned
not a
off
good
like
idea.
the face of it, and you see it kind of creeping out the edges around this thing.
does anybody have something we can put against it and push, like a torch or a? I don't want to ruin your hammer, Thomas, but
You got some gloves or
yeah, or
anything you can
something.
wrap your hands with, anything like that.
I
I was
mean,
looking for
We'll do cloth and dirt. Take one of my
What?
spare shirts out, tear it in two, wrap my hands in it,
Okay.
get the dirt there. Okay, I'll try it one more time. Y'all ready?
Oh boy.
go.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm not moving it. That's a 10.
Yeah, you don't move it, but you also notice that what you wrap your hands with is slowly being eaten away by acid until Diz mends it when it's back to normal again. But you also get the impression that it's going to take more than one of you to push this thing.
Well, who's strong?
I have a 10, so I have no modifier.
Okay, I am.
Yeah, same here.
I guess it's me and you, Thomas.
Let's go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
and
of you roll me a strength.
And I'm gonna.
Diz is going to wrap his hands up too, and he's going to get in on this action.
Okay.
So
oh my god, this is just as strong as it's.
I finally get a good strength check. It's 25.
13.
all right, so let
And
me
this is a
roll
weak
that.
link being a wizard.
He's just trying to be useful.
Yes.
You guys get a total of 50, and you are able, between the three of you, to push this boulder inwards until you have enough space to get around it and see what you've gone into. And you are now in a room. So
A room.
yeah,
Well,
you're in a room, and
This
And
is
it's-
still glowing, isn't
yeah, he's still a torch. Like until that stuff, that light spell. How long does that last? Like an hour?
I think I have to look it up real quick.
Yeah. So you're in.
But I
in
can
kind of a-
recast it as a cantrip, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's no big deal. So he's just glowing. He's a glowing boy.
it?
He mends everything for you guys, so your shit's not ruined by the acid.
Yeah, cleans everything, mends everything, keeps everything lit.
Yep. So you're looking eastward now, and directly in front of you is kind of a narrow room. Like you've got some space between this boulder. We'll say the room itself is about 10 feet, where that block you pushed was about 5 feet. But it seems to expand a little bit into a T shape, just a little further on, maybe 15 feet long in general, where there's another set of double doors at the end of this room.
Oh, fun.
And there's
fun.
Yeah.
in it. It's just a.
It's kind of an empty room. As you move around this block, you do see where it widens out in this T shape. On either side of the double doors, there are some urns on the ground, about 6 of them on either, 3 on either side.
I
I
see a lot
either
of
have legend like crush those suckers, there's rupees, or the Egyptian ew body parts.
Yep.
seeing a lot of sixes in this place.
Yeah.
That's scaring
Okay,
me.
just
666.
Do you guys want to do
Alright.
anything, or
Is there anything on the
some-
door?
Okay. The doors, there are another set of double doors with bronze glyphs worked into their faces. So if anybody wants to inspect those doors, they can do that.
I'm going to inspect the urns.
Okay.
I say
You-
rune doors.
You pick up one of these urns, and it's got kind of a seal on there. But you pop it open, you break this wax seal, and you look inside, and this thing's about 25 pounds. It's kind of heavy, but it's full of oil.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah.
Is it, well, I guess this is a dumb question when it's Thomas percepting, but does it smell like, hey, this is for your
Yeah,
body
he can't,
or for
he
your
can't
torch?
smell anything.
You
It
get the
smells like
impression that it's kind of crude.
Okay, so
So-
it's for burning, not for bodies.
Yeah, possibly. But it's like each of these 6 urns is about 25 pounds of oil.
Is
And I
the
get it.
door, is that perception or an investigation?
For the door, give me an investigation to really get a look at that.
20, non-natural.
Okay, so there are these Olman glyphs scribed into the door, and you can read this because you spent a lot of time with that book. Oh boy, pronunciation's fun in this one. So these glyphs say, "Here lies Tlokes Popolakis, master of the others, who is like the wind and the night."
Okay, I tell everybody that.
You want to
is
take
it?
a stab at that name?
No, no, thank you.
Here lies prophylactic.
I don't actually say the name, I just spell it out.
Yeah, let's see how this
I'm like,
works.
here lies IVCD.
They really things.
Enjoy that.
Oh, wow.
Locus Popo Locos.
Yeah, Tlokes Popolakis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a mouthful.
Something chicken crazy.
He likes to
yeah.
popo and he's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much we're looking at a crypt. You're looking at the entrance to a crypt.
I would
Or
say so.
master
So-
of them all kind of makes me like, what beastie are you gonna be? Not
Yeah, master of the others, who is like the wind and the night, is what that says.
But it says here lies, correct?
Yeah.
I was thinking the
So
bird
in other words,
until it said, and then I thought coyote one.
The door, is there anything, is it just a normal door pushed open or is there like a keys or?
You kind of rattle the doors and they are locked.
I'm gonna grab 2 of those urns and put them in the bag of holding. 2 of the ones that have not been opened.
Okay.
Is there anything that would indicate to us that we apply oil to the door in some form?
No, it's you can see a simple little keyhole in there, but it doesn't look like you definitely don't have a key for it. Like that first key that you picked up is definitely not going to fit this. It's just kind of a different mechanism. But if somebody had thieves' tools, you could probably pick it. Maybe if you smashed into these doors hard enough, you could break them down. You know.
First
Want
up,
me to-
it's weird that there's oil in an antechamber because there should be some purpose if you're leaving an offering or like some mechanical purpose. 2, Diz, can you take a rubbing, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So he pulls out some charcoals and some paper, and he puts them over the door, and he just Rub, 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 rub.
And stick it in the bag
Pretty
of
good.
holding when you're done.
Yeah, he rolls it up and he puts it in there.
Okay.
As he's
Yeah.
looking in the bag of holding, he goes, "Wow, this thing's really big," and he starts.
No.
No,
to,
I
uh,
close the back of the lid. No, no,
Nice
no.
shot. Can he draw on this room while we're at it?
What, Luz?
Can he draw? Can we like Meriwether Lewis and William Clark this and illustrate?
Oh, get your map going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's drawing a very crude map. I don't.
Yeah,
think
I was about to say,
very
he's been drawing it the
artistic, so
whole
it's just
time.
kind of like
Not great.
he's like a line. We turn left and right.
Big
Dead end.
lobster.
Down,
I guess I'll start doing the map. Cause
Yeah, you just see
I'm
like some
barred and
lines
all that,
snaking
so.
around this page with little arrows. Like this is the direction we went. It makes. No
I'm
sense.
like, good job, Diz, as I'm secretly over here doing my own map.
Yeah, thank
he smiles and the glow around him gets a bit brighter.
yeah.
I
I'm
walk
like-
up to the door and I start tapping it to see if I can figure out how it's constructed.
It's made of bronze.
Are the hinges
it's
on
a
this side
tomb.
of the door?
The hinges are facing you.
Hey, could we just jimmy the hinges and open it that way?
Actually, no. The hinges are facing the other side.
Damn it!
So,
Look, it's a tomb. There's no point. Let's go back. We did it for nothing. Let's get out of here.
But
They
there's
usually bury-
treasure in tombs.
And there are undead.
I'll be buried with all my gold, so I have to assume that others will be as well.
Oh, God, help the greedy.
Diz, hold that torch.
okay.
This is the torch.
Yeah.
You have.
Torch now.
Okay.
This is the torch.
I'm gonna try to get this door open. When I do that, if there's shit in there, I'm gonna throw one of these jars at it. So gonna be.
Get ready to light her up, Diz.
You're asking the badly burned child to play with fire. Great.
I'm warning him. I don't want to see him get hurt again. I feel bad about last time.
You should.
Yeah, as you mentioned, like burning and lighting things up, he's slowly walking backwards and is about to run into the block covered in lime.
Oh, stop. That hurt.
Bad touch, bad touch.
Oh, he stops and so do you want to try to hit this door, or what do you want to do with it?
Well, I rear back, getting ready to hit it with the hammer, and I go, "Y'all cool with this?"
No.
So without thieves' tools, there's no way we can figure out the mechanism. Is what?
Unless we find the
what we
key.
figured out.
Yeah, you don't. If you don't have any thieves' tools, you can't really.
Wait.
pick the lock.
I think I've got locate object.
Ooh.
But I don't know what that entails. If I have to know much about the object or
Don't you have to know kind of what you're looking
Go
for?
inspect that hole.
You want to inspect the keyhole?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll investigation. Excuse me.
It says, describe or name an object that's familiar to you. You sense the direction of the object's location as long as it's within 1,000 feet.
But it has to be familiar with you.
Yeah.
well, I know what I need.
You at least have to know what you're looking for,
Wait.
at least by knowing what it is, right?
Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind,
Mm-hmm.
such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
So you're just looking for
Okay.
gold?
No, she would be looking for a key.
Yep.
Oh.
And we could tell the general shape from the shape of the keyhole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead and do an investigation on that keyhole first.
Come back here. 16.
Okay. So you have Diz kind of move closer, so his light kind of looks into this keyhole, and as you do, You kind of get the gist of what the inside of this lock looks like, and maybe you can kind of figure out what a key would look like with that. You can also kind of see something glinting on the other side of this door, like on the opposite end where the keyhole peers through. Just kind of like a little reflective surface. You're not really sure what that's all about.
Like the key is run it from the other direction.
No, this is more of a glassy, reflective surface. But you do.
It's not an eyeball, I guess.
It sounds like there's an eyeball looking back at you.
Yeah, you can't see enough to tell, but it just feels like there's something glassy on the other side of this lock.
There appears to be something glassy on the other side of the lock. Like right up against it? Within?
Like
Do
something.
Not inside the door, but on the other side of it, basically.
Does
Like
anybody have a stick we can poke it with?
Well, now I'm concerned that if we open the door, we're going to smash something.
Fuck it.
I vote that we leave this door alone and we go find another way out.
Well,
want
we'd
to
have
go.
to confront the hermit crab again, and he's not going to be happy.
Well, we can burn him with the oil if it gets that bad.
That's what I was thinking.
Why don't we rob the grave and kill the hermit crab?
Well,
Everyone's happy.
Well, I'll make my attempt to locate the key just for grids. It's a concentration.
How does that work?
Concentration up to 10 minutes. I don't know if I have to roll for it or how that works.
It's just going to take you 10 minutes to figure out what you're looking for. So you kind of sit down and you start thinking about what you believe this key should look like. But you definitely don't find it. You get the impression that this key is not in these ruins.
great.
Okay. No key here, folks.
I'm knocking.
Oh, shit, everybody back up.
Yeah, hit me with an attack with that thing.
Natural one.
Oh,
Yeah,
First,
you
everything
go
in the
to
door.
smash this door, and being bronze, it's kind of flexy, and the hammer flies back. And I am going to make a dexterity throw. That's a 15. So Diz just manages to bail out of the way of this axe that's bounced back behind you out of your hands. Hammer. Sorry. So, yeah, that happened.
My apologies. Had a little mud on my hands. Let me pick that up. Let's try this again.
Oh, we're going for
Yeah.
round 2 now?
Y'all may want to get in the hallway.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Further up.
yeah, I'm going to stand where the limestone's in between me and him.
okay. Yeah, go ahead and move back and then swing again, Merle.
Non-natural 20.
Perfect. All right, you don't even need to roll damage. You managed to just hit this thing dead on, and you smash into it with your hammer with such force that the doors just fly open. And as they do, you hear the sound of glass breaking.
Oh.
7 years
But
bad luck on you.
the door is open. And are you going to just walk on in?
No, because now I don't know what glass is holding back.
I got the, oh shit, the bartender caught me spitting in a glass look again.
Throwing a
I'm
board.
going to say because you are near those doors, I still need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Just him, everybody else that backed up's okay.
Just him. You guys backed up.
Okay.
He's like
We got
within
way
threshold.
the fuck back.
Yeah.
22.
Good. You pass, but you do smell something a little different from the gas that you've already been smelling in this room.
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
No,
No.
he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't smell anything. He's just like boom. Wait, you're a dwarf also, right?
No.
No. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, the dwarf.
Okay, yeah, so the dwarf is going to be immune to poison. So, but either way, like the doorway is now open, and you're looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And behind the doors, from what you can see, is a chamber that's cut out of the rock instead of piled stones. And it's got a veil of calcite and stalactites just kind of hanging down from the ceilings and along the walls. There's buttresses that are rising from the corners, and it's kind of brown in color, shot through with black. And there's these triangular stone pillars supporting the high ceiling in here, which is about 30 feet. And in the center of the room, what looks like a giant, like almost like a flat square table-ish structure, like what you would assume would be a tomb, basically, but it's pretty big. And it's covered all around with carvings and glyphs.
Do we get the impression that this is a repurposed cave, or that this is a man-made structure that has since been taken over by cave-making processes?
You get the impression that this was a man-made structure that was carved out of the rocks.
The calcite and everything is deposited. Okay.
Yeah, because everything's super wet and seeping through, over centuries. Like, just
Great.
I want to look at the runes to see if we can decipher them, but I'm a little afraid to try and cross the room without some sort of check.
Yeah, if you want to get up there, you're going to have to get in there to do it, and you're going to have to roll a Constitution when you enter this room.
Gnome, why don't you check and see if the way is clear?
Okay, I'll do a perception, see if I see any traps or anything.
Okay, roll it.
13.
Okay, yeah, you don't find any traps, and you do see some more glyphs are on the floor in front of this this big structure, but you can't read them.
It looks safe, guys.
Yeah, and you're kind of walking around the outside of this thing, like around the structures in the middle. There's these triangular pillars, and you're kind of walking around the outside of it. When you get to the opposite end of the room from the door, you see an axe sticking out of a wall.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
Diz, keep track of the runes, please.
Diz is going to go in there?
I'm going to try to get my axe.
Jiz is going to try to do rubbings, I guess.
Yeah, maybe just of the ones on the floor. As long as you're doing one by one, you're not activating a whole bunch at once.
Okay, Diz is going to enter.
Dirty.
Oh no!
You're gonna kill
I was about to tell Diz not to come, but no, everybody's ordering my child around.
He takes a step into the room and immediately falls down unconscious on the floor.
Oh goodness!
So he
Like,
has
just
zero
dropped like a
hit
sack
points.
of shit. No, he's just asleep. Like, he's got his hit points, but he is just knocked out.
Oh, jeez. Really?
I take my axe that's in, or how big's this axe?
Pretty good size axe. It's also above you pretty high, to where, like, if you jump up there, you could probably catch hold of the handle.
I want my axe. I jump up.
I look
Okay.
at Colfer and I'm like, are we going in here to look at this tomb?
Yeah, I'm in the room.
Closely.
You get both hands around the handle of this axe, and you are now hanging off of this axe handle. And
I just look at him and I shake my head. I pick up Diz and I walk out of the fucking room.
Oh, but
I turn the room.
you had to walk in the room, right? Or are you
Yeah.
immune to poison?
It's poison.
She's
Okay.
immune.
I turn to Rune and tell her to draw a picture of Thomas hanging from the axe. Document to that bar.
Okay, I'm gonna try to pull the axe from the.
Okay, yeah, you put your feet on the wall and you're kind of hanging there from it, just pushing, and it's not budging at all. You do
Somebody
notice
might
that
use that axe there.
You do notice that extending down from where the blade is buried into the wall is kind of a shadow. And what you immediately thought was just kind of the shadow of this axe falling on the wall. It actually looks more like a withered, gnarly old hand. The shadow does.
Gross.
Yep, but you can't get this thing to budge whatsoever.
So I'm hanging on there. I'm going to poke the hand with one finger, see if it's real or just a shadow.
It's a shadow.
Okay, I'll drop down.
Okay, you drop down, and you still got this tomb in the middle there.
Go look at the tomb.
Yeah, there's a bunch of glyphs on the floor that he can't read, and
The two of you are the only ones that can read it. Take a deep breath and walk in, and then walk back out.
Let's see. Can I open
Or
it?
we could get Thomas to do a etching for us.
you kind of walk up to this tomb, and you see the lid, and you try pushing on it, but it doesn't move either. So you're pretty much like scratching your head over this, but you notice that all these glyphs go completely around the outside of this tomb.
When you say glyphs, are they like strictly runes, or are we talking pictographs? Is there any image that would show us or give us some sort of indication what kind of creature Loke Popcorn is?
It looks like writing, basically.
Okay, so just words. There's no.
Yeah, but he can't read it because he never.
I
studied
look at
it.
Colfer and I'm like, rock, paper, scissors.
You're welcome to go.
He's gonna have to run in.
I will not stop you
If you don't-
like.
If one of you want to come in and read it, that's great. If not, I'm opening this up my way.
I guess I'll
You
try.
might want something.
What's
I
your
like-
con?
I like
Sarah.
very, huh?
What's your con save?
Yeah, do
I have
a
a-
Constitution. As soon as you walk into the room, you got to do a Constitution throw.
Even if she holds her breath.
Yep.
Yeah. Come on, dice.
Oh no! Am I gonna have to go pick you up too?
Yeah, it's a 1.
Oh man, you drop down immediately, and you're
Okay.
now unconscious.
I guess that means it's me. I'm gonna tell my panther to stay.
Okay.
15.
All right, you pass. You're able to enter this room, and
She steps over my body.
yeah. So,
Tough crowd. They didn't like the music.
yep.
Well, I set Diz down near the entry, like the lime where we came in, like off to the side.
Put them against the acid block.
No,
Yeah, you
I
prop him up against the boulder.
fall over to the entry, the limestone where we came in.
This is waking you up.
No, you asshat. I was just trying to differentiate between the two fucking entrances. Ass.
Okay. So,
And then I'm gonna go back and start dragging her out of the room. I'm just gonna grab an arm and just start pulling her out of the room.
Hell,
all right. So, Colfer, if you can just roll me a perception check, we'll let you read all this stuff.
non-natural 20.
Good
Nice.
enough. You look at the glyphs on the ground, and those ones say, "Defilers, now you shall join me in my eternal resting."
Guys, it's not good news. Can I take a rubbing?
Yeah, you can take a rubbing of that. You've got some paper and charcoal as well. So you do that. So this tomb, it's constructed in several parts that you can see. Like it's got a big stone slab. It's also like 20 feet long by 10 feet wide.
Oh, jeez.
It's sitting on this monolith of rock of similar dimensions, and it's supported by these huge blocks of dolomite, and every bit of this thing has been covered with these glyphs. And the very top of it depicts a struggle between a dark-skinned man and a mighty knotted serpent. But alongside this illustration, that are identical to those that you saw on the door, you know, saying, "Oh, this is whatever his name was."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I don't even want to try that.
Okay,
Popo Locos.
But there's also some more etched right beneath that, like a series of 4 face glyphs. So these look like faces, and these are below that, and they're all in kind of a different form.
They are no one.
Yeah.
The you from reading this, you get the impression that this is the resting place of that dude.
Yeah. Pollo Loco.
Yeah, let's see. Sloke's Popa Locus.
I'm fine with calling it popcorn. That's what I'm doing in my head.
Yeah, so
I like Pollo Loco. I like crazy chicken.
and the glyphs on the top of this kind of give his name, and it also gives the date that he died, which you kind of translate to 54-3-9.
9.
And it's
What? 53-43-9?
no, you read this on there.
Oh, 3-9.
And that is actually written on these face glyphs. So
Does he, I know I'm unconscious, but does she notice like that he looks like any of those figurines we saw earlier depicting all the scenes and all that stuff?
none of the faces look like any of that. So.
Is this a date format that we're familiar with?
From your studies, like you don't quite get like which is the years or the days, but you understand that they had a pretty extensive and complicated calendar system. So, but
I suspect that he's pretty old.
Yeah. So,
You want me to open this?
No.
You're not in the room.
I'm dragging her out.
I'm not talking to you.
So
He wants us to welcome us to the afterlife with him. I don't know that we really want to open it. Either he is also very large as well as being old, or he has friends within his tomb.
You also notice there's 11 more glyphs kind of around the base of this tomb. They don't say anything, they're just more face glyphs, basically. There's 11 of them. And they look like you could press them.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I don't like puzzles.
And the sad thing is the one person that does love puzzles can't read any of the shit. I can't read any of it.
I mean, I can relay the information. And if they're just faces, we're going to have to figure it out by context.
I also want to say that Leela has been trying to wake her friends up, smacking them, dumping some water from her flask on there. They are not waking up.
I think a low-level heal. Would that be effective? Can I health check that before I do it? Or medicine check it?
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
I didn't eat any centipedes.
Can we have a small smoke break?
Yeah, we can have a smoke break here because I need to let the dogs out too. But what was your medicine?
16.
You realize that they're not taking any damage from this, but they're in a deep, deep sleep. And you also realize that this is unlike any poison you've ever really seen. Like it's super magical, so maybe if you had a spell that you could use, maybe it would get rid of it, but you don't have anything that a health potion's not going to do it. So
No, we would need something like restoration.
Or dispel magic, maybe?
Maybe I could try it.
yep.
Oh, but
Well,
it's
while
my-
you guys contemplate that, I call a smoke break.
Yeah, I got two.
Okay.
So,
It's just that would be using up one of my 3rd level spells.
And I don't have much time left.
yeah.
Yep. Be right back.
Man, you guys have not made it very far.
You expected us to?
Um,
It's us.
I've also expected a lot more mischief. There's some things that you could have done that would have been very bad.
I think we're so cautious just because you were like, it's dungeon time, and it's like, oh.
If you guys would have picked up those figurines in the first room and moved them from that niche and like set them down, they would have grown to human sized and attacked.
Oh.
Fun.
Yeah, and there were a lot of warriors in some of those niches.
Damn. When you said that, all I can think of is Shrek and that little thing when they walk in that sings to them. I can't think of what it is, but it's like the little puppet show or whatever.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Yeah, there's. Then you guys could have fought the guardian if you hadn't woken up the hermit crab. Like, he's pretty reasonable, but if you would have just attacked right out, you would have had to fight him, and then the hermit crab would have fought you.
Yeah, I didn't want that. That looks scary. I'm
Yep.
still worried about going back there and having to talk to him, but you know.
Nah, he's okay. Like, you've talked to him a little bit, and that's the most interaction he's had in years or centuries, basically. So, and now 2 of you are asleep.
Payback's a bitch. Oh, I tell you, my rolls tonight have been real low or real high. It's no in between.
Oh, how does that feel?
I know, right?
Sorry about that. Rory decided he wanted to stay outside and not come back in the house.
No, I know what you mean. I got to stay out there with them because we got a Colorado River toad out there somewhere, and I got to make sure they don't lick it.
Yeah. Yeah, Rory decided he was going to plant himself in the middle of the yard, told him to come in, and he just looked at us. You ass.
Yep.
All right.
Billy's figured out that if he has food in his hand, the dog always chases them around. I mean, he doesn't like tackle them or anything. He just like tries to get it out of his hand at every opportunity. So Billy discovered that if he gets in the dog crate and locks himself in there, he can eat in peace. So that's what he's been doing all day.
Oh, God.
I'm like, that's kind of the opposite idea then, babe.
Yeah, pretty bit. All right, you two. I say we have 2 people that are knocked out.
Yeah.
I have protection from poison.
I love how you think of this now.
Yeah, but I only have 1 because it's a 2nd level, and I only have 1 more 2nd level slot. You touch a creature. If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison. If more than 1 poison affects the target, you neutralize 1 poison that you know is present, or you neutralize 1 at random. For the duration, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and it has resistance to poison damage.
Do you
So
have
much
to
as
know?
Well, the unfortunate thing is there's no saving throw they can do with this. They are unconscious.
So if it's magical, I wonder if the spell magic would do it.
I'm going to say yes because it is a magical poison.
If I do it, that's going to leave me only 1 third level slot left.
I have lesser rest or protection from poison. Those are my options.
Hold on. Oh yeah, dispel magic is only 1 creature. Oh, any spell of 3rd level or lower.
Yeah,
and I
so
would not do them.
if you manage to do this, it will clear this room of poison.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay. You kind of step towards the door and you say your incantation and you poof. Suddenly both Diz and Rune are awake. And they stand up.
And, world of consciousness.
Yeah, and you guys are now immune from from this poison if it were still there, but she dispelled it from the room. So you guys are back up, and you're okay to enter this room fully now.
Okay.
So, and we'll say that that Lucy had relayed all the info to you guys after you got knocked out. Like, this is what we're dealing with. We've got these 11 runes.
And I gotta kind of point that out.
Yeah, kind of around this
Are the
this tomb.
Are the runes anything we recognize from the book, or are they just?
No, they're just they look like faces, and there's 11 of them.
Do the faces have like expressions or anything differentiating them?
Not really. No, they're just subtle carvings, but it looks like you could push them.
We have 11 faces.
But you can push them.
What?
You can push them. I'm gonna relay that.
All
She
right.
also relays like the inscription saying like, oh, this is the year so and so died, blah blah blah. Just the full information is in your head now.
And there's no other carvings we can see, no other runes anywhere else.
I'm gonna try something.
Of course you are.
I'm gonna push in the line the 5, the 4, then the 3rd one, then the 9th one.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, you do that, and you hear a rumble as the top slab of this tomb slides open a few inches.
Oh, holy shit! I did something smart.
Yep.
I'm gonna back up to the entrance.
Yeah, I'm grabbing Diz and we are walking back.
All right.
Can we call out
Thomas, you want to?
in Olman?
Yeah, you do that, and nothing responds.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yep. So you want to jump up
Go
there
for
and
it,
move this
no
lid?
man.
Crazy chicken guy, I'm coming in.
You got this.
So Thomas scrambles up there, and you put your handle of your hammer kind of in between the slab, and you heave, and it goes tumbling off, and you're looking down at a corpse. So there's this crumbling skeleton just decked out, like he's just got all kinds of cool shit all over his person, but you can tell he appears to have been a man of taller than average stature and obviously great importance, as there's gems all around him and small adornments of different values just kind of lie around the body, and he's got this jade mask covering this skull with kind of shell eyes and obsidian pupils, and there's a necklace around his neck made of jade with a pendant that looks kind of like the face of a human-like bat. You can also see he's got some things around his wrists made of jade, like he's got a breastplate. Like there's all kinds of rich shit all over him, basically.
Wait a minute, he has a green mask like one of the soldiers we saw in the sacrificial scene?
Yep.
Oh, good recall. Wow.
Hey, there's a lot of jade. I'll go with your chicken, Layla.
Get that bag of holding up here. Come on. We got good shit.
He has a green mask like the sacrificial scene in the tomb that we fell in.
Maybe we should chop his head off before we start getting the loot.
Deal. Man.
Okay, so this skull is pretty, it's in bad shape anyway.
Wait a minute, you're gonna hit this jade mask?
No, I'm going to break the neck off.
Speak with that.
Yeah, so there's like there's not much holding it together at this point, but if you want to start, you can lift off that mask if you want.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here.
touch it!
I'm looting.
Shit.
Stepping
Yeah,
back.
so you pick up that mask. There's also you see some hair that remains on this skull, and there's like some some black obsidian and red pipestone kind of tubes that are holding his hair in kind of a braid almost, what it hasn't decayed. Within the jaw of this thing, after you lift off the mask, is a big spherical white onyx stone. On the forehead of this skull is a diadem of dark opals and jade discs. So kind of just like almost like a little crown thing. There's some other pieces of jade kind of in and around the head. There's also this necklace that you saw.
Just
I
shove
really like jewelry. This guy had shit all over his face in layers.
Let's just shove the
Yeah,
head
like
in the
this dude is-
bag.
I'm just looting the shit out of it.
Yeah, grab the whole freaking skull, put it in the bag. Try to take a bit out of the skull while we're here.
All right, so you just start throwing everything into this bag, mask, all these little pieces. He's got this breastplate made of tubular jade with bone dividers. You throw that in there. Around the neck and through the rib cage, there's 156 jade beads,
Damn.
and they're shaped like spheres, cylinders, little trilobe beads, floral buds, open flowers, snake's head, all kinds of shit. The wrists, you take off these bracelets. There's some rings on the middle fingers of each hand, one in the form of a man holding the moon, and the other a panther ready to strike.
Ooh, Colgar.
I like the panther.
Pressed into the fingers of each hand is another jade bead in the shape of a cube and an agate in the left hand that's round.
What
At the
color
feet-
ag?
It doesn't say.
Oh, okay.
So at the feet, there's two small containers, apparently of glazed clay, one fitted with a flower-shaped plug in both ends, and the other holding a 1-inch diameter piece of mother of pearl. There's also a 6-inch long statue of a faceless man with large pointed ears.
Oh my god.
And it's plugged at the bottom as well, and there's kind of a liquid inside.
I say we leave the statue.
Isn't that what Cornelius wanted, though?
He wanted all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Goes in the bag of holding.
Fuck.
Okay, all that goes in there. As you lift that necklace, though, after taking the mask, this skeleton sits up.
I knew it. And it's sitting up with no head because the head is in the bag of holding.
And we are going to roll for initiative now.
Great, we are fighting the undead with no head. It is literally a neck, a torso.
Us to roll now, or do you want to wait till next time if Justin's got to go?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we can wait till next time, unless you want to roll now, and I'll just establish the order.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So if you guys will just go ahead and post your rolls, that way I can do that.
And for me.
Ooh.
Come on, mouse.
And I don't know who wants to designate as note taker, but I don't know all the stuff's
I
gonna
did too.
Huh?
Yeah, if somebody wants to.
If you could send like a list of all that stuff
Yeah, because there's a lot of it, and it's worth a hell of a lot. But I'm gonna wait till you guys actually like
kill everything.
and
Yeah.
actually like check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
Because,
wrote down like the really important stuff, like the jade mask, the jade
Yeah.
bracelet.
I'm just saying that
but-
I didn't write it all down, so
I didn't either.
we need to.
Oh, there's so much here. Like there's 2, 3, 4,
If we survive this, huh,
7,
Brian?
8, 9, 10, 11 bullet points with various pieces of shit in there. So
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
wow.
ton of
Yeah,
stuff.
I've only got a couple pieces written down. They were the ones that I thought were important to the battle, the sacrificial scene that we saw. That was the only ones that I wrote down.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those. If we survive all this, you're gonna have to send us like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of it. Like Cornelius wasn't joking when he said you'd be pretty rich getting out of here.
Yeah, if we get out of here. All Leela's gonna do is this, as this thing sits up, is just stare at everyone, close the bag of holding, and go, "I told you so."
Well,
Yep.
it was fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Hey, no problem.
Absolutely.
This
And
one
this
actually
Is
very
actually
good.
just like full
Yeah,
of one
no.
shot. So
And I'm liking playing Leela and Thomas a year later, the only two people left out of their party that
We've got the raging alcoholic.
a year stuck of wandering because we have no clue where anyone else is.
yep. So what's cool about this book is these were like some straight up original, just like dungeon one shots that like Gaiax and a bunch of the others actually made. And
Oh,
then
wow.
They bumped them up to 5th edition and kind of tied them in together to where you could always start off at the Yawning Portal and just quest your way through this book. But they
Oh,
don't have to tie into any real huge adventure. Like all of them were just straight up one shots. And there's one in here that led me to buying this book because it's one that Gygax wrote because all of his friends wanted a super challenging dungeon. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do that. But I was like, well, let's start them off a little bit lower and have them work up to it if I'm going to use the book.
Yeah, like Tomb of Horrors and all that's in there, I think, right?
Yeah, all kinds of shit's in here.
Yeah.
So it's something like it's a full campaign book that you could essentially play through. So this is only the third chapter in there. There were 2 other ones ahead of us.
Cool.
But I didn't want to start you guys off at 1.
Yeah.
I wanted to at least have some cool shit. So
Leela's gonna be a bad motherfucker by the time this is all done.
yeah, if you can, like maybe keep some separate notes in case we go back to Jeffrey and the gang where Sarah's doing those one shots. But we can always just continue on here.
I'll make sure to keep the photo that I took of my level 6 page. That way, if we go back to Jeffrey, if we go back in time for these 2 characters, I'll just go back to the level 6 that I've took a photo of.
See, my whole thought process is separated from Jeffrey and everyone else because Jeffrey cast his spell, the wild magic went awry.
And I was in Jeffrey, just went poof.
It ended up in the nursing home.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but yeah, like let's see, the one we are playing was actually written in 1980 from one of the early versions of D&D that they just will make it 5e friendly. So
there you go.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna crash out, y'all.
Good night.
All right, see ya.
Yeah.